A major gold stock buy signal has just been confirmed. I'm Biko Konstantinos. Please stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to discuss the reasons why I think the gold sector could outperform nearly all other sectors over the next few years. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoy my content, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Okay, let's get into it. In this previous video, we talked about gold price forming a possible inverse head and shoulders pattern. So this chart of gold shows a left shoulder, then a flash sell down, which has formed the head, and then a right shoulder, which didn't fall anywhere near the head level. And then we've got a neckline which traces the top of this pattern. So for an inverse head and shoulders pattern, if the price can genuinely break through this neckline, we have a breakout or a confirmation of this pattern, and that would be a bullish signal which should lead, according to the pattern, to higher prices. Now, one other thing is this head level was around about this 1680, and that's the same level where we've seen this double bottom, which occurred back in March and April of 2021. So that gives us a bit of more confidence that that's a very strong support level, and it's formed a bit of a base which could become the platform to see higher prices going forward. The longer term chart for gold shows a beautiful cup and handle pattern forming over many years. And as you can see, the cup has been formed from the high way back in 2011 all the way through to the high that was formed in 2020 after COVID. And then since then, we've had a bit of a downtrend, but it's been very small in relation to this overall cup. So a small downtrend, which forms what we call the handle within this pattern. And then we've got the breakout areas. So the first significant breakout area is this 1900 level, which coincides with the decade-old high that was reached. And the next significant level is this 2000 level, which had that false breakout after COVID. So if this pattern was to be confirmed, we would have a breakout from this downtrend, and then we would basically rise above both of those resistance levels, and then all bets are off for the gold price. We could see blue skies, we could see massive appreciation. So this is definitely a beautiful pattern that is forming in the long-term gold price chart. And if it does eventuate, and if it does be confirmed, it could really ramp up the excitement towards gold, the gold price, and the gold sector in general. So why gold stocks? We've just had a look at the potential for higher gold prices in the future, which would lead to more profitability for gold producers as they can sell their gold that they produce at much higher levels. But in addition to that, gold stocks themselves have been underperforming over the past several months. And gold bugs and gold believers have been wondering, why is this happening? Because they've actually been performing worse than the gold price itself and the stock market in general. So this has presented a good opportunity, or maybe a great opportunity, to buy some quality gold stocks at discounted prices while they seem to be out of favor. Their sentiment seems to be pretty low in investors' minds, and it seems to have been a sector that's been forgotten by the majority of investors. So that presents a unique opportunity, especially if sentiment returns to that sector. Let's have a look at a few charts to analyze the gold sector. Starting off with the Huey Gold Bugs Index, it's been in a downtrend for several months since it reached this high back after COVID, after it had that massive rise after the COVID. So with this downtrend, it's still intact, but we have seen a rise off lows. So it did fall quite a long way. That's why I was saying very out of favor gold stocks have been. It even fell lower than pre-COVID levels here. But we have seen a recent spike over the last couple of weeks. So we'll have a test of this downtrend line, and then we'll see if the Huey can start a new uptrend from here. Next, we have the Van Eck Gold Miners ETF, and it similarly has fallen a great deal over the last several months. As this downtrend has continued, it does look like it might be breaking out of the downtrend line, but it would need some significant move upwards to form a new uptrend. Last is the Australian All Ords Gold Index, and this index has actually fallen significantly. It is a lot lower than previous pre-COVID levels. So it did fall significantly, but it actually has risen quite a lot off its lows in recent days as well. So very similar charts across the board for the gold stocks. And for the actual whole sector, like I was saying before, quite weak. Extremely weak, extremely unloved and out of favor. But in recent days, the last couple of weeks, it does look to be changing. Now, one of the reasons why the gold sector in general might have underperformed over the last several months is the fact that the general stock market, the global stock market, has been doing so well for so long since the COVID sell-off that perhaps there was no need to actually invest in a safe haven type asset like the gold or like gold miners or producers. So that could be one of the reasons why there's been this sort of why bother with the gold sector. Looking at the price chart for the S&P, we can see that after the COVID sell-off, it was basically straight up for a number of months without any real significant downturns. So we've got this unbelievable rise all the way up here to this top of around about 4,500, which was hit just recently in September of 21. But since then, the last few weeks, there's definitely been a bit of a change in sentiment regarding global stock markets. So this very steep uptrend has been broken. It's no longer rising at the same level that it was. And it really looks to have created what could be a top. So it looks like a curved sort of topping pattern, which from here, who knows what could happen. But one thing's for sure, it's definitely not rising as hard and as fast as it has been. And it's very uncertain from here whether an uptrend will continue in global stock markets, which is represented here by the S&P 500. So with global markets looking a whole lot more shaky and undecided, it opens up the door for a return to sentiment to the gold sector, which has always been seen as a safe haven sector, a place of value and a store of wealth. Now, apart from the actual S&P going down and not looking as crash hot and other major indexes as well, the actual environment in the global market at this stage is very conducive to both a gold price rise and also a return to safe haven investing. So we'll go through some of those reasons why this is the case. We've got massive stimulus programs across the world that have increased national debts to extreme levels. We've got economies that are still struggling despite these massive stimulus packages. We've got inflation that's increasing across the board. We've got hyperinflated property market that has gone to unrealistic levels. That's basically due to these super low interest rates, apart from as well as COVID related effects. Now we've also got the economy that can't really be stimulated based on any further interest rates because they're so low now that you can't really reduce them further to have any benefit to the economy. And you also can't rise the interest rates too quick, otherwise the property markets and the stock markets are gonna crash. So tell me, does this sound like an environment where everything seems fine and there's no need to have a safe haven type asset? The other thing is stock market levels and the actual value of the stock market is extremely expensive. When you look at historical levels, the current stock market, especially the US, is at extreme expense levels when you consider some of those stocks, the multiples that some of the stocks in the NASDAQ are trading at, and some of the other major US companies are trading at. It is extreme. It's very expensive, so it doesn't seem logical that those prices would be able to maintain that high valuation, that high expense against the average that we've seen over many years. Based on all these factors, there could be a massive return to gold and the gold sector, and this could last for several years going forward. That's why now could be an amazing opportunity to buy quality gold stocks, gold producers, or quality gold explorers at bargain prices before the coming gold rush. I'm Biko Konstantinos. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you next time.